Who here agrees that hockey is Canada's national sport? If you agree, you're wrong. It is lacrosse. Lacrosse is currently the world's fastest growing sport. To fully understand the game of lacrosse, you need to know the history, the evolution of equipment, and the role of each position on the field. Now, as a former lacrosse player and current sports management major, I can tell you that lacrosse is both fun and very challenging at the same time. Now, where did lacrosse originate from, you might ask? The game of lacrosse originated from Native American Indian tribes who formerly knew the game as stick and ball. Now, these games were very large events of 100 up to even 1,000 players participating in lacrosse all at once. You can imagine being very hectic. Native Americans played lacrosse for many reasons, being Native Americans believed lacrosse was considered a game that strengthened warriors for battle, settled territorial disputes, and was overall just a very religious game for them. Uh, now, Native Americans would also place bets and wagers on these matches for items such as like knives, handkerchiefs, and in some instances, even horses they'd place wagers on. Now, before games, lacrosse games, uh, Native Americans would perform rituals where they would put body paint and charcoal all over their bodies and their face. They would even have tribal scratch marks, all to symbolize that they were ready for this war that they were about to go into. Now, besides the paint and the clothes on their body, Native Americans did not have any protective equipment that they were using. Now, all they used was a wooden stick to create the lacrosse stick, and they used animal byproducts to create the lacrosse ball. So now, with the evolution of the game of lacrosse, there now are requirements for equipment such as helmet, chest and back plate, gloves, and forearm pads. So now today's athletes like a bit more accessories and a bit more flashy things. So, for example, today's athletes can customize and change their entire lacrosse stick from the lacrosse head. They can customize that to the entire stick. They can customize. Now, also, lacrosse players tend to place tape on their lacrosse base, on the base of their lacrosse stick, just to provide a bit more grip strength when they're cradling or whether they're taking a shot on goal. It just provides a bit more extra grip to it. So now defensive players get the option to use a regular stick or a long stick. Now, a long stick is usually 52 to 72 inches, and it does give defenders an advantage, having a longer stick, being able to defend easier in different areas. Now that's everything you need to know to play the game. Now, this is how you play the game. Now, lacrosse is a basic game, basically. Has both offensive and defensive side, but that's not it. Lacrosse also has goalies and midfielders. Now, a goalie is a pretty self-explanatory position. The goalie has a bit bigger stick and bigger pads because he is standing in the goal, getting shots taken at him. Now, the midfielder is a bit more tricky. Now, midfielders are usually the most athletic players on the field, and they're also the most skilled players on the field. Now, the midfielder, at the beginning of every quarter or every single time somebody scores, the midfielder is required to do a face-off. Now, face-off is in the middle of the field where you face off against an opponent. It's kind of like the tip-off in a basketball game, except you face off for the ball, and whoever wins the face-off proceeds on to try to score the goal. Now, lacrosse is a very basic game.